Ricochet is not a game changer in AEW because nobody is. Will Ospreay isn't, Queen Mercedes isn't, Swerve Strickland ain't. Adam Copeland broke his whole leg trying to be a game changer and wasn't. AEW could sign me to write their jokes. And okay, they'd still win a couple of Emmys and shit, but no games would be changed because Tony Khan only knows how to sign talent, but he can't coach them. AEW is like if Capcom released Street Fighter 1, then as a sequel, they released Street Fighter 1 because no games are being changed and there are no game changers in this promotion. AEW is like a football team with a rich owner, loads of talent, but no head coach. They're like the Jacksonville Jaguars when Urban Meyer was there. And even with a good head coach in Doug Pederson, they still couldn't make the playoffs, maybe next year. Today, we're going to talk about why Ricochet should stay far away from those Jacksonville career killers in AEW and what he should do as a free agent to improve his value to the market. Subscribe in Swahili. Ricochet has every right to be frustrated with WWE. Ricochet was a can't-miss prospect who WWE fumbled. He arrived in NXT like he owned the place, had quick success, did that awesome flip over the top rope, and stuck the landing. He seemed like a sure thing. Even after WWE fumbled him, he remained persistent, improved on the mic, and got over as a character. Ricochet reminds me more of Rey Mysterio than Dragon Lee ever did. And even in his final days with WWE, I think, Ricochet had all the tools to be a main event star in the promotion. He was even dating the modern day ring announcer GOAT Samantha Irvin, which helped his act. They made a great pairing, like if Randy and Liz went to couples therapy. It was right there for WWE, but they just didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. For the record, I don't think Ricochet should go back to WWE just yet. But he damn sure shouldn't go to AEW. Given the sample size of one massive talent after another going to AEW only to disappear, signing with AEW would be nothing short of career suicide for Ricochet. You're telling me Edge, Sasha Banks, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, Keith Lee, CM Punk, Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage, Kazuchika Okada, and Will Ospreay all came from other promotions as top stars to be game changers in AEW. They struggled, but Ricochet will be the one to crack the code? Look, nothing against Ricochet. My point is, all of those wrestlers are bigger stars than Ricochet, and they either ran in place or went backwards after they signed with AEW. That's AEW fault. The AEW infrastructure is allergic to star power. AEW has enough stars to fit inside a typo-infested newsletter. It's not star power that AEW needs. It's an actual plan for these stars. And if Ricochet just takes a check from AEW for a short-term gain and some good wrestling, he'll have lost all his value by the next time he's a free agent. And at best, he'll be damaged goods to WWE on a discount. AEW is turning into one big screening of The Sixth Sense, and Tony Khan is Haley Joel Osment. Man has a promotion filled with the living dead. We've seen WWE stars go to AEW, and that was exciting. Now we're seeing AEW stars go to WWE, and that's exciting. But over these next few years, we're gonna start seeing WWE stars who went to AEW only to come crawling back to WWE, and that's gonna be sad. All these alleged game changers who had their careers ruined by a clueless Tony Khan will go back to WWE or even NXT with their tails tucked between their legs, hoping to recreate the magic they once had before they went chasing greener grass. Get it how you live. This does not have to be Ricochet's origin story. Instead of going to AEW for a one-pop debut, a meaningless title win, and years of irrelevance, how about going to the Indies to prove WWE wrong? The Drew McIntyre approach, the Cody Rhodes approach, but without help from AEW, because the days of wrestlers coming off as bigger stars in AEW are over for now. AEW and WWE have bled the Indies dry. AEW and WWE each have crowded main event pictures, so it's harder to stand out more than ever in National Pro Wrestling. Even the AEW World Champion is barely in the top 10 most pushed wrestlers in the company. If Ricochet went back to WWE anytime soon, Bron Breakker would be there waiting for him, and Bron Breakker would win that feud. If Ricochet went to AEW, Will Ospreay would be there waiting for him. And after one Cirque du Soleil flipping contest for Ospreay's AEW World title, Ricochet wouldn't matter. Ricochet needs to reinvent himself as the massive star he was on the indies before he signed with WWE. Not to be Bron Breakker's chum bait, and not to do couples gymnastics with Will Ospreay, but to create buzz as the hottest free agent in wrestling. If Ricochet decides to ride it out on the indies for a bit and it all works out, he'll be just as valuable as any free agent wrestler on the market, especially with King of the Indies Matt Cardona out with injury. The indies are Ricochet's playground. With all the big name talent under contract, Ricochet could be a puma shark in a small pond. Getting over in pro wrestling is about betting on yourself. And I'm sorry, signing with AEW is not betting on yourself. It's taking a check to do flips and recreate a viral moment from the Super Juniors from almost 10 years ago, back when Ricochet still had hair. Oh yay, a stalemate spot. Move on. This is a wrestling business, not capoeira. Now's not the time to be another free agent signing in AEW. Now's not even the time for Ricochet to come back to WWE to be fed to Bron Breakker. Now's the time for Ricochet to prove he can put on great matches, draw money, and be every bit the star that WWE didn't allow him to be. Ricochet seems like he can be a better fit in AEW, which is such a bullshit thing to say. Yes, Ricochet can wrestle. So that means what? A half-empty arena of hardcore wrestling fans will get excited when he does a 630 senton? Does that mean he's a good fit in AEW?
If you're more happy with some goof saying you had a 5-star match and the building's a quarter full, we're not in the same business.
Honestly, given their lack of direction, I don't think anybody's a good fit in AEW right now, because AEW doesn't even know what type of puzzle they are. Nothing fits. Nothing advances. There's zero creative direction, no real heels who serve as strong foils for babyfaces, and it's just a bunch of wrestling moves and 5-star matches from a 64-year-old man that everybody forgets about within a week. Is that what Ricochet wants for his career? Is that a good fit? Sounds more like a size medium to me. WWE is the right fit for Ricochet, but just not right now. Ricochet can will them into being a good fit maybe come January when they're on Netflix. So what Ricochet should be doing is coming up with a 6-month plan to reinvent himself and return to WWE just in time to be in front of a global audience, performing for a company that can maximize his star power should he bet on himself and succeed. Because going to AEW is not betting on yourself. This is not the Cody Rhodes era anymore. Going to AEW is taking money from a rich kid whose idea of telling a story is posting on a message board. WWE's storytelling isn't perfect right now, but it's lit. The Wyatt Six just debuted and murdered everything. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are in the midst of a steamy, forbidden, will they or won't they romance. They will. This is causing problems within the Judgment Day. Chad Gable is an abusive coach with a downtrodden Alpha Academy, and now that nigga might be dead. Drew McIntyre just quit the company, Bret Hart style, after months of being screwed by CM Punk. And by the time you see this, he very well may have returned to SmackDown to destroy CM Punk. Bron Breakker is spearing everything that moves because Adam Pearce didn't put him in the King of the Ring tournament. And now he wants the IC title. Solo Sikoa has staged a hostile takeover of the Bloodline. And Roman Reigns is on his way back to stage a Bloodline civil war. All while Io Sky is threatening to uproot Damage Control. There's so many rich long-term stories in WWE worth sinking your teeth into. And if Ricochet wants to come back to be the man to stop Bron Breakker, he has 6 months to make himself into a star, come home, and benefit from WWE's stellar storytelling. If he chooses to take the yellow pill and go to AEW, his whole career will be put on yield until he becomes yet another what could have been in Florida. Check out this video about NXT closing in on AEW Dynamite and subscribe. Should Ricochet sign with AEW? Should he return to WWE? Should he bet on himself? Tell me in the comments!